Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 15, Week 4. Today, we're looking at a black screen. Never mind, we're looking at Alch Capone versus Los Muertas. Game 2. Last game, Muertas just got steamrolled. It looked really bad for them.
10 seconds remaining.
They just had leaner problems from bell to bell and it just never got any better.
What happened to Anani?
Huh?
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
What do you mean what happened to me? We're live!
I asked him what he meant by this. Should get a response soon.
I'm streaming, bro! Join
He's
the stream.
offline?
Dire team
I shouldn't be. I can see my own stream on Twitch.
I don't know.
Can you see my stream on Twitch?
Let's see, I guess.
pick. 10 seconds remaining.
Yes, I think.
5
Well,
seconds remaining.
Yeah, there you go. Ask him what he's smoking. This time, the Treon Protector gets through, Alch Capone snatches it up first phase. Look, they got the better Mars! Band's same, for the most part, though this time they have substituted the Treon band for the Lena band.
Dire team pick.
Los Muertas gonna pick Jakiro! Pohoro in shambles! Shoutouts to the train.
Apparently he's asking about being offline
10
on Steam.
seconds remaining.
Bro. Alright.
5 seconds remaining.
Oof. I guess I gotta sit down and have a long chat with them after this game.
Oh, well.
I was about to say, I can't be online on Steam or else everybody would know that on Saturday I played a whole game of Hearts of Iron 4 as Bulgaria, but nobody would know that anyway because my internet was out the whole time, so...
Nice.
And that was Friday, I think. Well, that was very annoying because Runa had all that day free, and for once. And high internet was out the whole goddamn time, and now she just swarmed in work. 2 flying things, starting out with Jakiro and Viper.
Drow Ranger.
And, you know, as they say, what's big green and does no damage?
He asked me who won game 1, and I said Mickle, and he asked, is that good? I don't know how to answer that question, Howard. It depends on who you are, I guess.
Can you ask him to watch the stream, maybe?
5 seconds remaining.
Is that good? If you bet on Mickle, then the answer is yes!
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Anyway,
Radiant
as we
team
always
ban.
say, what's big green and does no damage? Viper when he's silenced, and Drow Ranger is a good way to do that. This is actually a really strong first phase for Alch Capone, who gets to draft the rock of the meta in the Drow Ranger, who gets to draft probably the best support in this meta in the form of the Treon Protector, who has countered out a hero that is most likely going to be on the Muertas core line unless they're digging up that old tired Viper support lineup thing. And now Alch Capone just gets to ban out 1 billion heroes that counter Drow, just for free.
Yeah. Like Spectre Spectre
10
Axe
seconds
Tusk,
remaining.
who are all draw counters.
Yep.
Fun fact.
5 seconds remaining.
And Sniper is just probably somebody you don't really want to be dealing with as a Drow Ranger. Can get out of your multi-shot range pretty easily and do a fairly similar job as you at a fairly similar efficiency. You don't want to make it a contest like that, so you just get rid of the stupid Garden Gnome. Muertas are just scratching their heads trying to think of what the hell to do now.
Radiant team ban.
Especially with the dodo that is the Viper, because you definitely cannot send Viper 3. Let me tell you this, okay? I've had a lot of games on this Viper. I've played this Viper versus Drow matchup. It is miserable. It is like As far as laning goes, it is one of the worst matchups you can
10
possibly
seconds
get.
remaining.
Like, you would a million
5
times over
seconds
rather
remaining.
have, like, an anti-mage or something, or even, like, a lifestealer in that role than a Drow Ranger, I promise you. You'd probably rather have, like, a Weaver in that role than a Drow Ranger. It super sucks facing that. And you have the passive break, sure, but it just, you know,
Dire
doesn't mean
team
much when
bad.
she can walk 3 inches. Alch Capone gonna knock out this Finn here. Actually, he's gonna keep the Mars in the pool. Funnily enough, we were discussing that specific interaction over the break.
Yep.
Well, I guess if there's any time to actually pull that out on Los Muertas, it would be now. It does unfortunately mean Viper is going to be invariably running mid. Or a support, which are both
5 seconds
not great
remaining.
options, but, you know. I mean, Viper mid can be okay, I just don't think Viper mid in first phase is very good.
I wonder what they're gonna pick. They're almost daring them to pick Mars right now.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Muertas did anything else. Gonna actually run out of reserve time on the bans here. Gonna ban out the Primal Beast. Could've been
I haven't
interesting,
seen that here in
actually.
a while.
He's bugged. It was bugged for a while. His ult was only hitting once for no reason.
Okay, that's really trash.
10 seconds remaining. Pick.
Skywrath Mage. Okay. Problematic before BKB.
Yeah, once again, I mean, outside of the Viper roll, which is kind of nasty for Drow to deal with, you still kind of have the problem of all these guys get solved by BKB, or all these guys get solved if they kind of
10
line up with
seconds
each other and
remaining.
then get gusted, which I think right now is kind of a legitimate
5 seconds
possibility, to be
remaining.
honest with you. It would be a bit of a dodo pick here, but it might not be a bad idea to just snatch up the Mars himself on Alch Capone. I hate the Mars and Treant combo, but on the other hand, it's probably better to just make it that much harder for Muertas to counter out.
Uh-oh,
You get a
scoring hero of
Centaur.
the game.
Centaur against Viper, huh?
Dire team pick.
Gonna be running back the Venge. Okay, so we do have some anti-Mars materials going on.
Anti-Skywrath materials.
PL. Okay, a PL into Centaur and not Drow Ranger, but PL into Centaur and Treant Protector is a little questionable. It is going to be onto Virus, but I don't really like him against either of those guys.
10 seconds remaining.
Especially since Centaur Warrunner can very, very easily snatch himself up a Crimson Guard and just pretty much knock you out of the game. Actually, I think if Centaur just gets the 2 big auras, if he just gets, maybe even 3, if he goes for Crimson, Pipe of Insight, and Guardian Grease, then it's just like, I legitimately don't know how you ever kill him especially, nor really anybody else on his team. So far, maybe the mid could change the equation. By the way, the answer to what happened in Game 1, which I've been talking about the draft too much here to answer, is Kai played Lina, pause 1, and just ran over everybody. It did not look like... There was one time they killed him, and outside of that specific moment, it did not look like there was any real stopping him the entire game. Alch Capone, thinking about their ban lineup here. They do actually have another chance to ban out the Mars if they so choose. I actually do kind of think that the Treant Protector plus the Vengeful Spirit means I don't know if you need to ban out the Mars anymore. I do think that is enough to save the Drow if you have the VS close to her. Like if Drow just gets put in the arena, you just swap her and you're okay. Be nice to not lose somebody in that process, but I mean that's a perfectly fine trade. If you must make it.
Remaining.
Ember Spirit banned, Huskar banned for some reason. Just, I don't know, I don't really like Huskar into Drow either, so I don't really get that one. I certainly don't like Huskar into Drow Ranger and Centaur and Treant Protector. Vengeful Spirit, by God.
Plus score to draw is like a 42% win rate, so I don't know. What can you do?
Radiant team pick.
Then again, most
No
heroes against draw have that because the hero's OP.
Ember Spirit Puck going down. Those would be two pretty interesting choices. We got the Fat Man. Okay.
The Kai
Do I like the
Punch.
Fat
Let's
Man?
go.
I think I like the Fat Man here. The one problem is that the Viper kind of stinky for him, but like... The Viper needs to passive break like
10
3 guys on
seconds
this
remaining.
lineup. He's going to have so much on his plate. I don't think the Pudge is going to be the first thing he's
5
thinking about when it
seconds
comes to
remaining.
dropping W. Obviously, the hook isn't very good against the PL, but the Ag's Rot really sucks for him.
Yeah, and Peel's not like outstanding in draw either, so I don't know.
I like him a little
Stuff.
bit. I do think he has usually a pretty good ability to close. It's just he has a great ability to close, except you're also playing against Treant and you're playing against the Centaur.
Choose your hero.
I like the Tiny here! As long as he doesn't get hooked at the start of every fight. We're gonna see, I guess we're just doing a full-time lane swap on this Alch Capone lineup, because this is the same positions.
Mickle's a pause 3.
And we are going to be running the crusty support Viper on this in this game. I really do not see that going too well.
I can't believe Kai for like 6 weeks is like, if you pick me as a pause 1, I'm quitting, and then he gets shuffled in a pause 1 anyway.
Yeah. I think he would rather play pause 1 than get stomped every game.
That's true.
Whew. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the Alch Capone lineup a little bit more. I don't think this is as stompy as it is in the last game. I do think Muertas have more of a potential place to win this out. I guess you can't say for certain that it's going to be Viper Pause 3 or Viper support, because I don't think they're going to be the kind of guys who run a core Skywrath Mage on List Muertas. So I think they might just be shuffling their offlane positions here. Still, bad news! Viper going offlane against Drow Ranger is horrible. He's just going to feed the hell out of that lane. Like, Giraffe is a pretty solid offlaner, but, like, you gotta be a Viper God to do good in that lane, and you especially gotta be a Viper God to do good in that game, and also her pause 5 is goddamn Treant. Like, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. That hurts a lot. Definitely going to want Tiny to be making as many rotations as humanly possible. I don't know if he's really going to be able to cleanly do that in a lane against a Pudge. It remains to be seen. Well, Giraffe's previous match was a win as Vengeful Spirit, so there's that at least.
Prepare.
I like the variety of clan tags on this Alch Capone lineup. You've got Alch Capone tags on Kai and Mickle. You've got Super Mario Brothers on Pohohoro. You've got Gravy on Meph. And Geistenly is on his own team. And plays his own game. If you compare it to the other lineup, you know, the Muertas team, well, Giraffe has no sponsors. Obviously, Whimsical Dragon doesn't have a sponsor because he's not on this team, but everybody else has it, so... You know, you have some solidarity here. Who do you think, why do you think Devirez is sponsored by Abra? Feels like he's been...
Abra? I don't know.
Seconds to battle.
Feels like he's been sponsored by Abra for a long time, too, like... Surely it would have evolved by now.
I like this triple branch one build for Kai. Pretty good.
Does look like
Success.
Giraffe's building as a pause 3 here, which is yeesh! A little yeeshy. He's not stats, he's not assigned his level yet.
No, I mean the items doing sets.
Ah, okay. I thought you were implying that, yeah, I like how we got all this and then leveled stats.
No,
3
no,
bounty
I
runes.
actually like them.
Yeah. 3 bounty runes for Alch Capone there as a run on the bot rune ends up just getting turned around a little bit. Oh man, I just feel... I do not feel good for this offlane's future, dude. The one upside is that Drow should have some problems standing up to the constant magic spam from Skywrath Mage, but that's almost
There's a
where
wand
the
already,
ends.
so I think it's
He has a
fine.
wand, but it's like I can promise you every Q from a Skywrath Mage is going to do a little more than a wand charge that it comes out, to say the least.
True, but it makes it harder to properly go on him rather than just annoy him.
Doesn't make it that much harder to rat him, which I think is going to be a problem if it's not dealt with in any real way. Starting off strong, in the off lane here for Dire, which I mean, or in the safe lane there for Dire, which I mean you have to. Phantom Lancer is going to end up being very useless by the end of this lane phase. So you definitely gotta make hay while the sun is shining on this one. This is actually a very sad story for Cheeseburger's lineup in 2 ways. Like, I cannot see this off lane going anything but like really disastrously for them, and while the safe lane is a little better, I don't know how much longer they have to live.
Kind of out damaging Giraffe right now, actually, when
Yep.
they're both attacking each other. It's very, very sad.
I don't think Giraffe, you being out damaged Giraffe got the full lot of stacks here, but
Nice.
Kai,
Oh, he missed the last focus shot. He's
yep.
dead anyway.
Doesn't matter. First blood, and he gets it right before he goes down. That's definitely worthwhile if you're Pazlon. Especially considering that the Paz 4 is almost dead, and you're... Okay, never mind, guys. Suddenly he's about to tank a creep wave for a half an hour and lose all his health. About to say, the Paz 4 is almost dead, and your Paz 5 is basically fine. All Mickle really needs to just dominate this lane is Hood. The second Mickle gets Hood, the Phantom Lancer is just
Got him
gone.
again. Giraffe. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Jesus.
That's so much. That's like ridiculous damage. If I was playing Viper here, I'd be a little shocked that I'm dead.
I wouldn't. I've played Viper here. That's not shocking at all. This is Viper into Drow lane. It is.
He shouldn't
that
die that quickly, even in the draw, I feel like.
He's made of glass at very low levels. A lot of people don't realize that, because at low levels, usually most of your damage is coming in the form of magic damage, which your passive is going to soak up some of. This lane, your Drow is just going to be hammering you a lot with the Frost Arrows, which do the physical damage. And as a result, Viper really just can't stand up to it very well. He is an Agi hero, but his armor is kind of bad. His max HP, pretty bad. I'm going to go into Kiro at top. Likely going to be support for support here, yep.
You die so that others may cheer.
Mickle looks at the courier instead of killing it before realizing, hey, maybe I should take a civilian casualty. After all, it'll look good on my war crimes report. Mid's going fairly slowly. Oh, poor Giraffe.
Yeah, this free spell is actually like such a problem for him.
Yeah, I mean, it would be bad enough with the Drow Ranger, let alone with the best support in the game. Like, this is just such a horrible... Like, I can't poop on Giraffe. This is anybody doing this. This is unimaginably bad lane for Viper. At the very least, I was gonna say, Mid's being pretty stalematy, just slightly in the favor of Pudge, but he just randomly died right before he got Hood, which means Meth is crying himself to sleep tonight.
Cheeseburger's gonna fill his bottle up,
Is under attack.
get a couple free creeps.
At the very least, he is still top of the last hits chart. Drow wants to make Tomato fight the banner creep.
What sort of prize is this?
Turns around with a get away from me type multi-shot, which this lane really does not have anything to do except just comply. Mickle already has 2 points in his passive, I mean his return passive specifically, and is bringing in Boots and a Mango. I don't think this is how I will be building Centaur this game, but that's on you, I guess.
Victory stun. Stun. Slow, even. Giraffe is
Dead
dead
again.
again. Yeah.
1 and
There's 3
4.
heroes. Like, the biggest problem, I think, in this lane for him. Like, the draw's the problem, but the tree, like, makes it unlivable.
Drow's already unmovable without tree, so that's just really just a cream on the crop.
PL's
Goodbye to PL. Caught in a very awkward spot here with this pull attempt. And just out of the
So
range
that-
of support.
They have double stuns, right? So he just kind of dies before he can even do anything.
Mickle already queuing up the Hood of Defiance here. Once the Hood of Defiance comes out, Mickle has nothing to fear this lane. If he gets, okay, goodbye, Jakiro. Jack rotates mid, just gets completely annihilated by Pudge for his very first inaugural fat stack.
Last game too. Except Cheeseburger didn't die this time.
Drow stacking safe lane camp while the lane is pushed out against her. Which would normally give Viper a little respite, but he's not actually here to attend to this lane right now for some reason, even though he knows that the Foz 5 is gone, which is a little interesting. Mickle going deep against the PL here, just barely within his stun timing. And
They think it's the
Pahoro
illusion.
is getting baited
Actually,
here.
both of them thought it was the illusion there.
Dire's top tower.
Unfortunately for him, he really still just can't do any damage to the Centaur right now. As low as he is, the Centaur is actually still
Right,
trying to
ouch.
stand on top here. He's doing it again. Absolute mad
Viper's
lads.
TPing. This is not TPing. Cancels it.
Centaur is also TPing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're going to get the pause 4 here, but they did just have to rotate both supports to do that.
They're mid kill each other at the exact same moment.
Wow.
Under attack.
Pudge going for the soul ring so he can die slightly sooner. Make sure that dying at the same moment thing's not going to happen again. He wants to die first.
Yeah, true.
Centaur going for really early energy booster here. I really don't understand this one. I don't think I agree with this build. Just going for quick mana boots, but why? Like,
What else are you gonna get? I guess you can already stay on top
Vanguard.
of PL, so you don't really need phase. Or I guess you can just not upgrade boots.
you just
but-
want Vanguard. Get the Vanguard, get it to Crimson as soon as humanly possible, and just make sure that not only can PL just not touch you at all, it makes it really hard for the T1 towers to touch you. You can just push those up pretty easily. It makes it really hard for any creeps to touch you at all. Just stand in those and farm. Makes you a pretty immovable object in this game in general, between that and the hood.
Check out the last set chart. Radiant, dire.
Yep. They're getting so worked by these PL illusions in the top lane. Every time the virus is in danger, he just makes an illusion run off, and then he's not in danger anymore. They fall
Oh,
for
he's
it
good
every
this year.
time. So the saddest thing is that he doesn't have any variation. He just does the same thing over and over. They fall for it anyway.
Nice, that's Beth.
Get Ice Path on too. Obvious in more
That's
trouble here
scary.
than he realizes. Can we get a Geist? No! What are you doing, homie? Did not want to use his abilities there for some reason. Pudge is going to bot here because he heard there's free killings on the Viper and he wants one.
Radiant's
gets one.
middle tower is under attack.
Drow Ranger at this point is just like, I can solo this lane, and she's probably right.
Lane, yeah.
So Tree is just now here to try and help the Centaur just push up into this lane.
A lot of TPs flying in.
Yep.
You do not want to let this one pass.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They know their entire card is tied to the Phantom Lancer horse in this game, and so every time he's going to be in danger, they're going to bring out all the cavalry to try and deal with it. And they also know that Drow Ranger is not going to, like, you know, she's just going to kind of stay in this lane, not even really push it out, not even going to get this bounty rune. Never mind.
I'll take that.
Nice raindrop sighting on Kai.
Oh, there we go.
Dire
To
are
to
scanning.
eat the occasional Skywrath Q.
Sky spells, yeah.
It's a
You would rather not have the raindrops pop on the Skywrath slow, generally.
I think it like made this lane
Radiant's
a
bottom
lot
tower
easier
is
for
under
him. So
attack.
Centaur is going to try and go for the Grease first, which is an alternate option.
Kai is just
Dire's top
TPing
tower
away.
is under attack.
oh, what? That didn't catch him.
Radiant's
Okay,
bottom
that's
tower
really
is under
strange.
attack.
Dire going to cry themselves to sleep tonight.
That's like a 0.1 second difference right there.
I feel like at this point, Raiden is starting to feel, I think, the need for the tree ult a little bit. It feels like he's been sub-level 6 forever now. And there's many kills they could have gotten with it.
Mickle TP.
Yep, Kentaur gonna TP in, gonna just go right into it and start ulting. With his Hooded Defiance, he is almost invincible to this team, but they're gonna stop them from trying as hard as they can. They finally get the Geistly ult off, but unfortunately it's a little late in this fight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sigurd does have the opportunity, yeah, he's just gonna walk right back into this, and even though there's four guys here,
Dire's
they
middle
actually
tower
are gonna have
is
to
under
back
attack.
from this bot D1.
There's a ridiculous amount of slows in this game. Like 4 slows on this Dire team.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And like anytime Mickle wants to do anything, he kind of gets perma slowed by a million different sources.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to say that you're going to definitely need to BKB this game on the Centaur, but you might, just to get around that. Or you could just get Blink Dagger and try to time your ult around it rather than using it to initiate like we had in that fight.
Radiant's
Which is
middle
a
tower
possibility.
is
I
under
do think
attack.
when that happens, it's probably going to be a lot lessened. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't do the BKB after all. Just get the pipe, get the Crimson, and... Well, he's not going to get the Crimson, I don't think, but... Space Cowboy is just been cut in half. If you look at the net worth chart here, you'll see, again, no surprises on this board, as everybody on the Dire is trailing their rating equivalents by a pretty good amount, about 1,000 gold apiece, except for G-Rap, who's about 2,000 down, unfortunately,
Dire's
for him.
bottom tower is under attack.
Really sucks to have this avenue in a game as Viper, too. You really just... He's going for Vanguard first of Viper. Is this what the kids are doing these days, or...? Probably did not need. Yeah. Probably did not need to use the Centaur ult there, which is a bit unfortunate. Brings out his mechanism.
Okay, see. Tracking.
Constantly getting tracked there, actually. The tracker has become the trackee.
We're just watching those 2 heroes.
Sentry's gonna pop, see?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pudge has found himself a Skywrath Mage here in the middle of the triangle and is going to eat. 5 fat stacks on the fat man. Brief drop here. This has to happen at least once every series.
Oh, I'm gonna have to be rough here.
Pudge is just a little too fat for this underfed Viper to do anything about.
He's
Especially
broken and
living
he
armor.
doesn't even care.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
To be fair, on these, I guess it does count as a passive. It's like half passive now.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Viper means nothing to him anyway. Good use of the Tumbler's Toy there on Pudge's part. Gets another very free kill. I like Kai just gusted him. Just out of protest.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse. You have the humiliating experience of getting dismembered by Pudge, and then Kai just right in your face.
He needs his assists, but he doesn't want to steal the kill, you know?
Speaking of pause ones, the Phantom Lancer has finished his Diffusal Blade, which is going to make him a lot more annoying for a couple of these guys.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's a very, very late Diffusal Blade, by the way, this game is going, which is just very unfortunate for everybody. The only core on Dire who's in anything that looks like a good position is Tiny, who already is going to have problems against the Centaur and the Treant this game, just for their ability to not die when he's next to them. He is going to be kind of a threat to Drow as long as he's able to maintain that. But if she starts to pull a lead, or if just too much time goes by, even that's going to get past him. I think about racing a T1 for a T2 here, but instead they're going to try and invade their own jungle. They know the Drow ain't around. Interesting swap there. It's not going to work out for poor Bohohoro, who's going to be the first death on this team in quite a long time, while Meph gets a pause 5 to feast on himself.
It's fine.
Fat Man wants more.
Only one person gets a permanent benefit from it, so.
Yep. Do get a bit of turnaround goal for the Viper there, but I feel like if you're sitting on 4K at 16 minutes, if you're sitting at just barely more than the support lines, then it's like, I just don't know. It's so hard to turn around games with Viper. It's one of the hardest in the game to recover if your early goes bad. I feel like for the most part, Viper's contribution to this game is going to be being a break bot. Smoke coming in here is going to run into Geist in the jungle. Going to beautifully tank this gank. Ah, that's so sad. Kaya is going to ask Pohohoro what the hell she's doing here. Pudge cares so little about this enemy team that he just dismembered the enemy Jakiro while standing in Macropire. Unfortunately, I don't think that was necessarily as worth it as they probably think, as they just lost 3 to kill 1 support, putting $1,896 into Dire's war chest.
I think it's not a disaster unless Kai dies.
Yeah, it's not a disaster, it's just not what you want to have happen to you, by any stretch of the imagination.
Like, I would say it probably barely matters. It's like space for Kai, that's the most it is.
Howler's DMing me on Steam. I haven't checked chat in a while because it makes Dota explode. Nice Man complains. Let's do it. Let's Oh, he said the exact.
It's not like your PL is getting much from that fight. Except for, I guess, space for himself, but Drell's also getting space.
I do think the establishment of space for PL is pretty big for him here. I don't think the Drow versus PL matchup is bad enough for PL where you can say he doesn't have a path to victory this game. Certainly, especially with the Tiny on his team that being their helps. So if PL starts to get space when he's been forced to just fight constantly, it's not terrible for him by any regard.
Insta-bleed the Scarab. It's not as instantly as they like, but they have the support.
Mickle just fails to, okay. Guys just ults a bunch of PL illusions.
They thought Davi was there, huh? Interesting.
They weren't too far off, he just ran off when the fight started. 2 supports killed, not much money changes hands, but more stacks for the Fat Man is always nice. He's also getting, he does have this Ags now. It's up to, for those of you keeping track at home, he's up to 11 fat stacks. He's got his Ags, he's getting the Blink Dagger soon. I think this Blink is actually going to be pretty bad for that enemy team, and Virus' Courier just died somewhere weird for some reason. Viper pushing out a side lane. I don't know why Tramp Protector TP'd here. I guess thinking maybe this is a 5-man push for some reason, but very low chance of that. Very low chance Drought dies in any case, to be honest with him.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, if that Twitch mod who trash but shit talking shows up for revenge.
I wonder why you just randomly said that. Well, I mean, I wonder why on Twitch, but I don't wonder why in game. Oh, yeah, on YouTube, but not in game. Centaur Warrunner closing in on a pipe of insight. A very disproportionately large, again, amount of this enemy team's damage is going to be magic. The Viper, the Skywrath Mage, the Jakiro, even the Tiny, for most of the game, is going to be predominantly magic damage. So having Pipe of Insight plus Grease pretty early is going to be able to both tank up a lot of what they have and turn around a lot of what they have as well. Having some ward wars here around the bot T2 for Radiant, but the Dire is just so scared to actually push into this that all they can do is just kind of take over the territory and just play ward wars. Mickle has come to look at this situation, but he has no blink daggers. That's all the involvement he can have. Pudge might be able to say a little bit more than that, though, as his blink daggers out.
Yeah.
And Skywrath Mage gonna go down again.
Deleted.
I like the Centaur ult to just get closer to this. Oh, that's so... That is really good thinking on Meth's part. Really good thinking. I think if he doesn't get the hook on that Jakiro, both of those guys get away. He did not go for the greedy hook. He went for the I must help my team hook, and that's the important thing.
Here about Roche.
Yep, this should be pretty easy. You know what's the craziest thing is that Kai's already doing this much damage and tearing through people, and he does not have his shard yet.
Yeah.
He just got it just now. I know this is only a 7k gold differential game and that Davi has had several minutes now of free farming. I really don't see how the Dire win this anymore. It's starting to look really bleak. Kai is starting to get very ludicrous in the damage output department.
Radiant's bottom tower
Everybody
is
who
under
should be
attack.
dealing with him is just getting completely cold clocked. He got the shard at a really awkward time to coincide with his first Aegis.
Yeah, I
Radiant's
mean,
bottom tower
PL
is
under
under
draw is bad
attack.
enough when you're on parity, but he's not on
True
parity.
death.
So,
He has to kill her twice now.
Radiant are
That's how bad the
scanning.
parady's getting. Centaur Runner is going for BKB again. I don't think I necessarily agree with this. I think he's just better off going for Blink.
a lot of spells thrown at him right now. Just walks
Radiant's
away.
top tower
Yeah, luckily he is
under attack.
incredibly flat, incredibly fat, and he has the Trion Protector
Incredibly
there.
flat.
Yeah, yeah. He's a two-dimensional character, you say, in a three-dimensional world. Like Mr. Game & Watch. Or your girlfriend.
It's okay. Good fight for the hero.
Many agree.
Is he gonna say that every time Meth lands a hook?
Dire's middle tower
Who,
is
me?
under
Yeah,
attack.
I'll
No,
say
he's
it.
gonna say he disconnected every time Pudge lands a hook.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about me. His hooks are nice, what can I say?
I'm not flaming you that bad now, come on.
Dire's middle tower
PL,
has fallen.
his, maybe he just doesn't like to get his 10 trade. Okay, yeah, I was really worried there when I saw PL get a level 10 trade, and I was like, oh! It's not
Yeah,
that good level
weird.
wise. We do take a look at that hero level chart. You can see PL is actually keeping roughly competitive with the enemy lineup. He's only 2 levels behind Drow, which is probably good. But Akiro just can't do anything in this game.
So little about the Necro Fire. Incredible.
Poor support lines just getting deleted every time they even think about going out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
What has a hook?
Dire's middle tower
Is
is
he gonna
under
land it?
attack.
No, he's not.
No. It's not a nice hook.
Washed.
Yeah, he's washed and redeemed. It happens.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Almost gets
no.
the real PL there. That would have been a huge hook.
Yeah,
That would have been
no,
instantly
I'm
game
watching.
ending. I think.
Oh no,
I'm gonna bait him out a little bit there. This is the real PL. I don't know if they realize that though. I'm gonna lag out for a few seconds here for no obvious reason.
Good bloody push. It's working out though. Feels silent.
We had the tree ult there at a really good time.
Okay.
Peel does have buyback, but I don't know how inclined he is to use it at this point. Okay, so he's gonna pull it out.
Use it.
They're gonna pull out all their buys here to try and keep this game alive a little bit longer. Unfortunately, the support line is still just getting evaporated. Kai silences the creep wave in a show of. Okay, Tiny in a great position here.
Oh, 3-man Mickle stun.
Yeah, this is
got
dead. Goodbye, game. Lots of diebacks. Pudge is back. This is looking very completed.
Game-winning hook stomp or what?
Cheeseburger calls the G's. We're going home. 2-0 for Alch Capone. Another 0-2 for the Cheeseburger lineup. Alch Capone has now made themselves a good argument for the Comeback Kid Trophy. They play a bunch of games like this for the rest of the season. It seems like this might be a stronger lineup for them than their original setup, even if they are taking Mickle off of pause 1 or even pause 2, which is a bit unfortunate, but perhaps if they go with this configuration for the rest of the season, if they go with this lineup, then they could definitely start putting a lot more wins on this board, because this felt like a much stronger and much better organized Alch Capone on the draft and execution level than that we've been seeing in the first couple of weeks. Muertas, unfortunately, it feels like nothing's changed at all. It feels like every week I look at this Los Muertas team, and every week I feel like I end up unfortunately saying the same kind of thing. It's like we're looking at 5 heroes that feel like they're basically all reactions, just don't really amount to anything. In fairness, this Whimsical Dragon guy felt like he stuck out from this team like a sore thumb, in particular in the second game in this series. I don't really know. Like, I don't know if there's much coordination going on the Muertas lineup in the game too. It feels like it just fell apart, but like, just some of the draft decisions are a little questionable. Some of the play decisions are a little questionable. In particular, I just giving anybody Viper in first phase is an act of unspeakable cruelty. It just should not be done. Like, it is. You picked the Viper in the first phase. You didn't have the Drow banned. They had the first pick so they could snatch it up on that 4th overall. Maybe you can get Viper at that 4th overall, but even that's pushing it. I think you need to know what you're playing Viper into for him to really work, which is kind of the biggest weakness of the hero. You can't pick him early, even though he is a hero that feels like he has a first couple of picks type of impact. I understand the PL in theory, but there just wasn't enough space on the map. Maybe the Tiny's a little too greedy of a pick this game. I feel like if it goes long, it's fine, but like, this is a team that was never going to go long. You had no offlane. It's just as simple as that, really. You had no offlane. All Viper could do is just show up and die. He died just from being in XP range. It's that kind of lane for him. It really sucks to be him. Either way, so, with that being said, the ultimate lineup. And I am reading chat, by the way. It's just I can only check it once in a while, because A, we have a 2-minute delay, and B, every time I do that, the game lags. But either way. So, but please don't come into my goddamn chat and post goddamn spoilers. I beg of you. The ultimate finding here is that I just felt like Alch Capone finally found and fixed the biggest issues this lineup had. It feels like they came in playing a very disciplined, organized game with a clear plan, clear objectives that they filled out. And that's just kind of how it went. That's the long and short of it. And the Cheeseburger lineup, they just kind of had 5 guys. Burgers and fries. If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg today to sign up. Lots of stand-ins and lots of rotations. And we have a lot more coming through soon. The fun never ends with the in-houses, the queues that are popping every night. Just all kinds of crazy stuff happening. And if you want to see your game gasted just like this one and get eviscerated just like Cheeseburger, please make sure to go to the thread in the Anani1200 cast channel, which Randy probably doesn't even realize exists yet, and put a request there, and we'll get it done. So until next time, we'll see you around. Well, actually, before we go, any thoughts on this game, Randy? Because you didn't really, I didn't really give you a chance in that summary.
No, I mean, what can you do?
Wicked.
Ground appeal, not good.